Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting started with the Chang podcast, episode 16, featuring Nathan, aka ItsNatfan. Nathan, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You're dedicating a lot of your time, so that matters. It means a lot.
Thank you, thank you.
On the bottom right of the screen, you guys can see my Instagram. Feel free to drop a follow. I didn't know if Nathan had one, but there's his Twitch handle, so you guys could definitely follow him. Remember, exclamation guest to see his channel, and exclamation podcast to get a better understanding of why I'm doing this. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, Nathan, let's give us a brief introduction. Tell us a little about yourself, hobbies, interests, whatever you want. A good overview.
So my name's Nathan. I was born in Sydney, Australia. I grew up playing a lot of video games when I was younger and still doing so now. Currently, I have a full-time job. I'm working like 5 days a week now. And, you know, streaming is on the side of working as well. So, you know, usually after work, I'll come home, get ready, stream. But in doing so, I'm also losing my sleeping hours as well. Just to entertain you guys, so. I guess growing up for me, I feel like I was put in a decent family. Everyone was so supportive as well. I had brothers, you know. But as I grew up, I started to, think about other stuff, plan ahead as well for my, after getting out of high school, not knowing what to do. Because when I got out of high school, it was the time when COVID was actually happening. And basically isolation for us was a must. We had to, follow restrictions a lot more. There was less stuff to do, basically. And I just wanted to start working, started, earning some money just to help out the family as well as myself. Yeah. And the job I do, I'm a lift mechanic. I install lifts. I'm a lift fitter. So from the beginning of lifts, there's a shaft and we basically build off from there. So, yeah. And I'm here now just, wanting to stream as well. Because, because the community I was in when I started streaming were super supportive of me streaming in the first place as well. They were streamers as well, and, from there, I started streaming, and yeah.
Great. Good overview. How would you describe your own personality?
I think I would say I'm caring. I like to, have fun, enjoy life, and, hang around friends, whether it's, in person or online. I met a lot of like amazing people online, and it's just been insane ever since. Having those having those connections online made it super supportive of me, and it means a lot because it means a lot because you guys are just all amazing, showing me support when I started streaming as well. And even then, like when I'm not streaming, like just hanging out playing games together, it's just heartwarming for me.
Would you say you're more of an introvert or extrovert?
At times I feel like I'm more of an introvert, but because of my full-time job and stuff like that, I'm going out more often than usual. Yeah.
Great. Let's talk about specifics now. Getting into your childhood. Talk about everything from the beginning, like when you were born, what was life like, and then just go from there.
Uh, from the beginning,
What you could remember.
what I can remember. Let's start off with my first ever console and game I played. It was on the Xbox 360. We played Halo. Uh, I used to enjoy Halo a lot until I realized because of Xbox, when I started getting into FPS games like COD, you needed a subscription. So, and we couldn't pay a monthly subscription, so we swapped over to PlayStation instead. PlayStation 3. Uh, my first game on PlayStation 3 was Sonic the Hedgehog, which was probably one of the most annoying games I played, and probably still is. But maybe because I was younger then, I didn't understand like any concepts or like mechanics of the game, so I was more like dumb. uh, getting into getting into like my primary primary school, everything like that. Uh, my family made me. Oh well, my family thought I was one of the most like annoying kids. I feel like I would cause most troubles, everything like that, even during school. Uh, I didn't really get much into fights. I remember one time in primary we were playing this. It's a game called Capture the Flag, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were using the whole entire school for it, right? And we would have two teams, and the flag was a water bottle. And the way it works is there's a center line where you cannot touch the players unless they cross over it to the other opposing team. And that game just caused so much trouble and hate because everyone was like getting pissed off at each other, like calling out for cheating. I got called out for cheating once, and some guy pushed me over, and we got into a fight.
Shoot.
and and kid you not, this was like when like I was in like year 5 or 6,
Mm-hmm.
and I got into not really many fights, but that was like the one that got me pissed off the most. Like some kids were throwing rocks, and I threw a rock back, and it hit this kid's eye.
Oh no.
No, it wasn't like the eye, but it was more like on top of like his eyelids,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like bleeding pretty badly. And I didn't get told off or got detention. I got my parents rung up, and they told me like, "Natfan's aimbot from 5 years." No, but I got called up, and we had to go through and talk about my behavior in school
Yeah.
and how bad it was. But I was a pretty naughty child. I kid you not. But as I started growing up, getting into high school, I wanted to change. I wanted to be more, less aggressive when it comes to like sport games. And I feel like high school was the point where I met amazing people and extremely supportive people when it came to schoolwork, hanging out, chilling with people. uh I think it was more like during year 11 and 12 where it got more like extremely supportive with everyone. And like, of course, year 12 for us, the it was when COVID hit. So we spent more than almost 10 weeks in online learning, and it was super hard for me to actually focus and stuff. So I feel like online learning is just the hardest thing to come around with when it comes to high school or even learning in general. So it was kind of challenging to go through that, but online, having platforms to talk around, with friends and family. Just made it so much more easier to cope with that. But I feel like when it came to COVID, uh, it probably hit the hardest because at some points I wasn't bothered even getting out of bed to actually join class or meetings, anything like that. So I was just more like not bothered learning as much. But as it got to the end of the year of last year, uh, we got back into school. Everything was all goods, and high school. High school was probably the most challenging for the last year because of it.
Yeah.
I think everyone could agree on that. And then after that, finished high school. I wanted to find a job, started working.
Oh, we could talk about work in a little bit.
Talk about
Here,
work.
let me ask you specific questions. Let's go from there. That was a good overview of like your school too. So, you've been in Sydney your entire life?
Yes, I have. I have traveled,
Mm-hmm.
only to like Vietnam. That's about it. Uh, I think Vietnam was fun, but I feel like we've been there too many times now. You
Mm-hmm.
know, most of the times I would ask my dad that we should travel somewhere else instead. Maybe like somewhere closer, maybe Thailand would be fun. I heard that he went Thailand as well, and he went uh, deep sea diving,
Mm-hmm.
which I wanted to do really badly. But cause COVID and everything, it was hard. So
Yeah.
yeah. But one of my dream like places to be is probably up in Norway. Norway is really satisfying, and having the northern lights as well is also amazing to see
Mm-hmm.
in person. Like, I like one of my subjects I picked up in high school was photography. Like, I enjoyed taking photos at some points. I enjoyed I enjoyed, going outside more because of it. You know, I wanted to at some point I wanted to become a photographer, but but that just seemed to never happen because after COVID or during COVID, it was harder because we're all in lockdown and everything, so we couldn't go out as much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but one of my dreams is to go to Norway to see or to witness the Northern Lights because that is one of like my biggest dreams ever.
Sick.
And yeah,
You mentioned that you have brothers, or you have a few siblings?
yeah. One of them is older than me by 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one's also younger by 2 years as well.
Oh, so you're the middle child.
Yeah, I'm the middle child.
Talk about your relationship with them throughout your life.
I feel like maybe when I was younger, I probably did cause fights with them a lot. Uh, I feel like because, I was considered the naughty child, because I feel like the middle child's usually the naughty child anyways. Uh, I would cause a lot of fights with them, but as I grew up, like, for me, fighting, like, against my brothers is just, like, there's no point in doing so. Because in the end, you're just gonna forgive them regardless, because they're your brother, and, you know, there's no point in it, so.
Yeah.
But having growing up, like, you tend to not want to be more or be less aggressive with your brothers and friends and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. So even now, you guys are really close?
Yeah, we're a lot closer now. Yeah.
How about with your parents? Your relationship?
Uh, Currently, my dad is taking care of us the most at the moment. Our mum is So our mum lives in a different area than us. So, but she comes in every now and then just to give us some food,
Mm-hmm.
treat us. Uh, she helps pay for the bills, and I also help back by paying so. We currently have like the way our house is structured is we have our top floor, so we have a two-story house. The top floor is where our, brothers, parents are, and the bottom is just a couple of renters that hang out and just, relax downstairs. They have their own rooms, of course, yeah. Uh, when it came to like family disputes and like troubles, it was mainly more like us fighting between our parents, but we sort of handled that as we grew up, you know, without fighting. Like there's no point in fighting parents or family because you're just gonna forgive them.
Yeah, same scenario as your brothers.
Yeah.
So even as a kid, like, how did you look up to your parents? Were they just always working? Were you guys really close where you would tell them everything, or what was it like?
They had, pretty stressful jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I wouldn't say my mum did, but my dad did. He also is a lift mechanic. I work with him, with my uncle and my cousin. It's not much of a family business. It's more like we're subcontracted, and it is a stressful job. It's dangerous as well. My mum was a nail salon owner.
Mm-hmm.
She started up a business, but she ended up just because it was tough to handle the business. She decided to sell it, and now she's working. I think she's still a nail salon person.
Yeah.
Uh, she's probably working somewhere down in, you know, Western Sydney. But other than that, yeah. It's mainly the tougher jobs that my dad handles, which makes us. I mean, currently it makes us more connected. We talk more. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like because we're always traveling at everywhere together because we both have the same job. Uh, yeah,
So since your mom lives somewhere else, does that mean they're separated?
yeah, they're separated.
Do you want to talk on that, like when it happened and how, like, you handled that situation?
It wasn't. I feel like they wanted to be separated in the first place, so my thoughts were, because of that, like it shouldn't be like the biggest deal because I assumed that they, they wanted to be a part of each other. So,
Wait, how
it
old were
didn't
you?
bother. I would say I was probably during high school,
Oh, okay.
so it wasn't as bad
Mhm.
because during high school, like we didn't like there wasn't much between us. Like we wouldn't get dropped off to school or anything. It was more like, oh, because we live like pretty close to the school where we went to, and it was just like a 5 to 10 minute walk. So other than that, we'll just wake up, get changed, and then just go. So
Yeah. So, more about school and your childhood. Let's talk about specifically how your life was in, I guess, your first few years. Like, what were you interested in? Were you the same type of person before? And feel free to tell us, like, stories if you want, to give us a better understanding of how you lived your life.
uh, so during the first couple of years of school, I felt like I wouldn't consider myself like an outlier. I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't out of the spot. I was more involved in like, group talks, and, like friend talks. Because most of my friends came from primary school as well, and they helped me also feel more, connected with everyone. that's in school. I wasn't the popular person. I was more like I just wanted just I just wanted school to be done. I just wanted to get out. My interests during schools again were photography. Like I love taking photos of everything, but like now that's starting to die out. It wasn't much to begin with, but it was fun during it. Oh, it was fun while it lasted. So, uh, a memory or a story in school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there was this one fight. I feel like. Uh, I'm trying to remember, but it was between one of my friends and I wouldn't consider it another one of my friends, but he came. They both came from the same primary school, and these guys always had fights with each other. They even throughout primary school, uh, they would always get into fights between each other. They would always cause trouble when they see each other, or maybe like when they come across each other. But now, ever since that, they've been chill, been relaxed. But there was this one fight. I wasn't there for it, but a couple of my friends were. Basically, apparently, uh, let's just say, one of one of them were talking about their mum, and it got the other guy pissed off, and apparently after school he approached him and because he wears glasses, he punched him, and his glasses like shattered and I think got into his eye or like cut his eye, and basically it was just right outside of school. There was cameras around, and the police were called up as well. Yeah, so Dre Summer here was one of the witness. Uh, I don't know the full details, but he would know. But basically, that happened, and like, yeah, he was walking with him, and the punch happened. They started getting
Jeez.
aggressive with each other, and yeah, it was a little bit chaotic. The police were involved as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't hear about this until they mentioned it to me, and yeah, it got pretty rough in the end, and I was like, oh shit, like fuck, I hope he's okay, because he's one of my great friends and still is right now, and hearing that story back then was kind of like worrying.
Wait, how
Because
old were you guys at that time?
this was in I think year 11, was it, Andre?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he could have lost an eye, and that was pretty fucked up, and it got me super worrying because he is a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I feel like the stories in high school are just usually fights. That's about it.
That's your highlights.
Yeah.
Just fights.
I feel like it's just all fightings or like fucking people just calling each other out. Yeah, that's about it.
I see. So remember, this is to the audience and viewers. If you guys have questions for Nathan, feel free to ask throughout this entire podcast. Other than that,
Love life? No.
how would you describe yourself in high school, like the stereotype? Like, for
The
example, like the
stereotype.
jocks, the nerds, and all that. What would you
Oh, I
describe yourself as?
well, some people say that Asians are usually good at maths. I you know I wasn't good at maths. I feel like I was. I think maths was probably the most struggling, and English. I feel like the main core subjects I was struggling at, but I coped with it. Fortnite nerd. I was okay. I was a Fortnite nerd at one point. I played a lot of Fortnite, but then I stopped because back then I couldn't. I didn't have like a good computer to actually handle it. I had a laptop that I used for school, which wasn't even made for gaming. And yeah, that turned out to be terrible because that laptop's broken now.
Wait, so what kind of kid would you call yourself in school?
uh, I don't know. I wouldn't say I was a nerd. I was I was more of the kid that would just play games more than actually do schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you would call that, but
Were you well known?
uh I would say I was sort of well known because I felt like I was in multiple groups at that time. You know, I had my main group, and then I had a separate group, and then
It's
like a
like a
little.
floater.
Yeah, I floated around a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I wouldn't say my name was out there, but I was just that kid that just comes around to say hi, just chill with the group every now and then.
So, a question from Clay: will you marry him?
Of course I would. Clay's my dad. I'd marry
Wait,
my
wait,
dad.
wait, 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 wait.
No. Clay is a really chill guy. I love him.
Go
Oh,
So
how you doing,
how many
Clay?
of these people do you know IRL?
IRL, I know. So depends how many are in here. Uh, at the moment, I know two of them IRL. The rest are online friends that I've met.
Ah, I see, I see.
Yeah. So Kenny, Kenny Two, and Dre Summer, they're my IRL friends. I met them during high school. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. Do you have any specific memories you want to mention from high school? Other than that, I'm just gonna ask you specific questions.
Memories from high school. Uh, no, we had no beef. I don't want to go into that though. It's kind of, I think that's more personal between us, Andre. That's why. Uh, Memories in high school. I feel like the the final days of high school was one of the biggest memories ever.
Hmm.
Being able to see everyone graduate as well, it was just amazing. And seeing them, move on with life, made me happy as well. Seeing my friends also, doing well, wanting to do something, going to uni and everything like that, just makes me happy. That day was also one of the greatest days I've had. We were all we all were in oh no, the fun day out was also great. Not the fun day out, the fun day, I think it was called. Basically we had a day where all the year 12s would uh you know have a day to themselves and just muck around. That's what it's called, muck up day. And we were all like doing activities on our oval, and everyone decided to like have buckets of water balloons and just toss it at people, which was so much fun. We even went around throwing it at teachers as well. You know, it was really enjoying that day. Uh, a lot of memories were built there as well. Oh, more throughout high school, but that day just made it feel so special. Everyone enjoyed themselves, which made me super happy as well. Yeah.
Hmm. So throughout your time in school, have you ever encountered bullying?
Yes, I have. It was uh I wouldn't say it's a major bully. It was more minor.
Hmm.
It wasn't as bad. I just feel like cuz I'm not much of a popular kid, I don't get bullied as much. I feel like more hate comes around or revolves around more like popular kids and their connections. Otherwise like, I feel like I didn't get much bullied in school. Or if it was minor and like nothing personal, so
Yeah, talk about the minor bullying that you've encountered.
it was more just it's more just online. It's just more people like, I feel like just hate me or just judge me because of it. But other than that, it's just, you know, it's nothing personal. It's just a little minor text, and then like I get sent like from someone else, oh, you know, you're this or that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter to me. Like when I got into high school, like I feel like bullying and like hating people, like there's no point of it. Like you're not benefiting off it or anything. So that's why I didn't fight back. I just felt like I was, you know, there's no point in fighting. Even to me now, like when I join like a COD game or anything, because you know COD is toxic as hell when it comes to like online chatting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It would usually revolve around like, you know, homophobic words or like, you know, judging people's appearance or anything like that. And you know, because of that, like you generally just get used to the hate, and I kind of just move on with it. Like I don't really care. Like it doesn't benefit you, so what's the point? So yeah. But I tend to I would chat back, you know, if they do like in fact like hurt like an actual friend that, you know, I care about. I'll just say like, oh, you know, I'll say some inappropriate words, but yeah. But I usually tend to talk back when it comes to, you know, people like actually hurting or like, you know, calling people out. Mainly my friends, because you know I love them more.
Mm-hmm. So, did you do any sports or activities throughout your high school or even before that?
I loved playing softball. It's basically baseball, but the way it worked is softball you throw underarm instead of, you know, an actual pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be really good at it in primary school. I played it for more than, I think it was 3, 4 years of school. So in year five, I picked it up, and I was considered one of the best during that. Yeah, I played a lot of handball as well. Handball was I was really good at handball. I was considered like the best, but I would I wouldn't say I was the best. But I think I want to talk more about softball because softball it was the most fun I had in a while when it came to sports. Uh, you know, we competed in, it's called PWSA. We played against other schools, and you know, we would destroy them in primary school. That was like the fun part of it. But in high school, it was more like, uh, it wasn't as competitive. It was less like, it was more like we're playing against each other than anything else.
I see.
Yeah. So I think the peak of softball was during primary school because, you know, we versed against other schools. We were like demolishing them. Like we were that good, and you know, I was usually the last swinger or like bat hitter because, you know, I would usually hit it the furthest and,
Save
you
the
know,
best
get
for
everyone
last type
hyped.
of thing.
Yeah, that's what it usually was. And yeah, between high school and primary school, I think primary school was the best. And as what Andre mentioned, Andre Summer, handball, I was I was really good at it. I played it more in high school than primary, but there is high school rules and primary rules because I think primary rules were more chaotic in handball. You had to like you were able like to have headers, kicks, and like there's something called cherry, which is the most stupid thing ever. Uh, but I think high school made it, you know, made it so much better. I got really good at it in high school. Sadly, I missed. There was apparently a competition for it, and I missed it because I was away. Because it was during first class, right? during the first class or first period, and I usually had on a Thursday. I usually had first period off because the way it worked is for our school, you were able to drop a subject, and in doing so, you get one of your periods off for that class. And so I couldn't participate in it because I was basically either asleep or still at home. And everyone was like telling me like, "Oh, you went there for the handball competition." I was like, "Oh, there was a handball competition." Yeah, handball was the shit back then. I feel like that's the one thing I want to go back to. I like that's the one thing I enjoyed the most in high school as well. Handball.
Hmm.
We did play a lot of soccer when it came to like the beginnings of our years. So in year seven, year eight, I think we played soccer a lot. But it was I feel like that's also where most of the fights happened as well. I think soccer was the most.
More fights.
Uh, yeah, more fights.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like yeah, high school overall is just fighting. That's about it. Yeah. But other than that, I really enjoyed playing softball and handball.
Hmm.
Other sports I did was tennis in school. Uh, there was something called power walking, which was pretty stupid. Basically, you're just walking. That's about it. They call that a sport. I don't know why. But tennis was fun. I only did 1 year of tennis and then I stopped. I think I did. I did. I think I did another year in primary school as well. I think it was year four. I don't remember. But yeah, that's about it. Mainly the sports I played was softball and handball.
And how about like other extracurricular activities? Clubs involvement.
Clubs, no.
All right, it's cool.
I feel like clubs and stuff like that, uh, generally they go like after or before school starts.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like with that, like I wasn't bothered doing that. I just wanted to go home and just chill, play some games.
Yeah. Um, Dre, can we talk about how buff Nathan is? I'm even scared to beef with the man now. Are you
I'm
working
not
out or
that
what?
far. No, I haven't, because gyms have closed at the moment. I think they're opening up soon though,
Hmm.
but I don't think they're not up at the moment. So, because the whole COVID thing has just been, you know, it affects like so many lives at the moment. It's so hard to actually like maintain a good health with like gym wise. But there's like
Hmm.
home gyms. We did make a home gym. We're still building up on it. My brothers and I were just we're like, oh, because we can't go out anymore and our gym's closed, so let's just make one.
Yeah. Speaking on COVID, talk about how it impacted you personally.
uh so I would say it impacted me the most after school. I would say that because after school we were still in lockdown. Uh, we didn't have much to do. That's why.
Where was your graduation?
Oh, when or where?
Like, how did they do the graduation? Was it online?
No, we did it in school. So the way it worked
Mm.
is, I think it was only like 2 hours we had. Yeah, and we weren't allowed any parents to be in there. So
Jeez.
the way we did it was we compacted for only students and teachers and a time for it. So I think it was only 2 hours we had, and they had to rush it, which was hard. You know, we just all got up on stage, handshake, that's it, photos, that's it.
It's horrible, man.
Yeah, it was really bad. But I think with COVID, I think it affected me the most during. Yeah, they had to record the whole segment
Hmm.
for it. But I think the way COVID hit me the most was after school. I feel like we had this whole period, like I think it was 4 months where we just had nothing to do. Like I had nothing to do. Like I was thinking like, should I just pursue studying or do I just find a job and work off there? So I asked my uncle if I can work a part of the lift industry, and he got me in. Uh, I got signed up as an apprentice, so I'm also studying as well.
First job?
Yeah, first job.
Okay.
And ever since then, it's just been more work than anything else now. But I do enjoy my work a lot. It's
Mm-hmm.
really good. It's fun. And again, it's also dangerous. You're working at great heights, and dropping something or like potentially falling can happen. Uh, but uh, I was happy to get the job opportunity because it is my first job, and it's probably still gonna be. I'm probably gonna stick with it for a while, because it's really enjoying. And like
Yeah.
all the like little like ideas and like the way they bring up their like their problem solving, it was like it's really cool the way they do it. They learn based off like previous like knowledge. Obviously, I'm first year. I don't know shit. I got into the job like not knowing what the fuck to do. Like I'm like carrying stuff over to help out. But that was mainly like it was mainly just me helping out like my dad because he's also old. They're getting old,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to be there to help them out. You know, give them a hand. That also made me feel more connected with my parents, or mainly my dad, because I'm always there with him. Helping him out, supporting him, taking care of him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any like work stories to tell us?
Uh, there's so much. I feel like work. For me, I feel like when I started working, I was more like trying to learn more than actually like trying to work. Like I'd be more of a visual learner when it comes to work.
Mm-hmm.
So like the first couple of months of me working was just me trying to either help out or just start learning. Uh, it's the way they do it as well is really fascinating. They have like this. It's got a false car, right? And it's held by three ropes, like metal ropes, and it is those ropes are connected to the very top of a shaft, which shafts can be more than like 50 to 100 meters high, and the way the false cars work is there's wheels connected to the sidewalls or that roll on the sidewalls, and there's it would bring the whole false car up and down. So you're basically standing on uh, a piece like a wood platform that's connected to three ropes and like four wheels that's holding you up. And
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty scary, but I when I first hopped on one of those, bro, I was shaking. I kid you not. I was like
Yeah.
worried as hell. Uh, uh, Most people in Sydney, if they're not here in here, basically we worked on the IMAX building in Darling Harbour. It's also an apartment as well. Basically that was I think 29 floors, and that was more than 100 meters, and it was pretty scary. But at the moment, that building, yeah. But at the moment, we are currently working at a hospital, building
Mm-hmm.
lifts there. Uh, I think that was probably like my proper job, like or proper working job, like where actually got more like, into the working part of it, like the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, because mainly at the previous job that we were in, it was more just me trying to learn visually, because I didn't want to distract anyone of work. But basically, the ones in the hospital, there's two big ones that can hold up to, I think, the two big lifts that we did were, it can hold up to 5 tons. I don't know how much is that in, you know, pounds or whatever it is that you guys call it, but it was it was a pretty heavy lift. The weight, like the amount of people that can be in it was like almost 60 people, which is ridiculous. Like me working in there, doing one of the biggest lifts in Sydney, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? all the parts were like, all the parts were like doubled its sizes. You know, stuff weighed more than like 1 ton. I think the motor that that is used to pull up the lift and also the counterweight was more than I think 2 tons. And the way we had to put it in was we had to crane it into the top of the building and put it on the very top. And then, yeah, from there we had to. The hardest part was to actually like move it. We had something to actually, like I think it was like a, it was like a something. It was like an air compressor where we had to like push it with like, you know, a lot of like force of air, because you can't use like manpower to push that thing. That thing's like 2 tons, and we had to like inch it to like actually get it into the right spot, and it was so annoying and stressful to do so. Uh, that one was like one of the, like, you know, doing those two. So we had to do two of those,
It's
and
like challenging.
yeah, it is really challenging because everything was like twice its size, and because of that, everything's double its mass and even harder. But uh, one of the like a rail. So the way a lift is like held, it's held up with 2 rails and 4 ropes, and the ropes wrap around the top of the car or under the car, and the car is basically the inside of the interior of the lift, and it's basically held up with like 2 rails on the side of it that's connected all the way up, which we have to build, and the ropes also hold up the counterweight, which obviously it's like a pulley. The way it works is, so if the counterweight's on the bottom, the car will be on the top, and yeah, uh, it was, the stressful part of that was the motor as well as doing the counterweights. So we would have to put in weights into the counterweight to fill it up, and we have to get it to the right mass to hold up the car itself, as well as the rope, because the rope is also connected with them. And you know, everything we do was like dangerous, and even the job site, like the job site safety manager was like always hammering us with safety issues and concerns about what we're doing, and like we got pissed off at him because he's just delaying our work. We tell him off more than he tells us off now.
Hmm.
But yeah, so basically work, it's fun, and it's fun and enjoying, but also really dangerous. You know, dropping stuff can cause, uh damages of the car, or even kill a person that's down the shaft. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty dangerous what we do.
So you work 5 days a week, you said?
Yeah, 5 days a week.
Is this
It's
full time?
full time, yeah.
Mm.
And on the side, I usually, uh, again, I'm an apprentice, which means I'm also studying as well. I'm studying to be an, what was it, electrician, because you need the license as well to, wire all the lifts and stuff, and to have the knowledge to wire it as well. But I feel like I feel like currently what we're doing in class is different to what we do in uh, during the workforce or the workplace. It's a lot different, but you learn the basics of like, wiring and everything like that.
So as a apprentice, that's like totally separate from like being in college. Is that what it is?
Uh, you're basically it's a course, but you're not like a full-time student. It's more like so for me it's once a week I get a class,
Mm-hmm.
but usually full-time students they're going like every day or like 4 to 5 times a day.
I see.
Yeah. It's I feel like it's more I think it's less stressful when it comes to apprentice because you're more focused on the job than actually studying in a way,
Yeah.
because you have more time. You're more on work than actually studying or like in class.
Yeah,
But that
hands-on
means,
experience. Yeah.
yeah, and all that hands-on experience also helps with uh classwork as well, because it's not only just like, for me it's not only just like the electrician part. We also do like you know a safety procedure as well, like course, like talking about how like you handle like tools in the workplace, or like safety precautions in the workplace and all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
not only just like electrical stuff, but it's also like hands-on knowledge as well, basic knowledge of the job site. So
Yeah. So at this point, are you afraid of heights?
no, not anymore.
All right. So you were beforehand. Got it.
Yeah, I was probably like the most scared of heights. I remember during like we used to go cliff jumping as well, and that was also fun. We did that for a while, and then we kind of stopped because COVID again. I think COVID just fucks everything up for me. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Other
Okay.
yeah. So I'm not afraid of heights anymore. Because my job is basically heights.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm not even a year in yet. I think I'm only like 8 months in now, so 8 to 9 months in. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're still young, so
yeah,
a lot of experience coming soon.
yeah. I think someone's younger. I think my cousin's younger, but he's worked there for longer. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because he dropped out pretty early in school just to work. I think he's like 1.5 years into his apprenticeship, and I only just started, and I'm older than him. So
Mm-hmm. All right. Aside from work, talk more into photography, how you got into it, and what type of photos do you take?
ooh, so photography. During school, uh, my friends and we hung out a lot. So this is pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We hung out a lot. Uh, More during the city. I feel like I was more of like a urbanized photographer. So I'll take a lot of photos of buildings and like structures. We also went urbexing, which is like we go to abandoned places and take photos, and just experience the whole creepy, somewhat nostalgic moments, because we would always revisit the same one because it's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
There was we went to I think we went to a abandoned uh urban we went to an abandoned coal factory, which was out like almost three 3 hours away. And I think during this time I was in year 10. Yeah. Cops encounters, no. We never had one cop encounter. But This place was actually really cool. Like it was right beside a beach. So after completing our exploration of the place, we went down. We would go down to the beach. This place is like really big. Like, and they had this like middle structure where there's like this massive ramp that goes up to like a silo, and we would just hop in. We didn't hop into the silo because fuck that. Uh, but we went up to like this very top of the silo, and we just hung out there and just chilled, chat, and yeah, urban exploration is actually really fun, but there's also a danger to it because if you do get caught or if someone gets hurt, like if you call like someone, obviously there's gonna be problems to why you're there or issues. But this place had no reception, and I had one of these crazy friends that on the top of the silo he would dangle off like a metal piece, and I'm like, bro, you're you're crazy. It was more than like 30 meters up in the sky, and it was horrifying. And he would just dangle off there. I'm just like, if you fall, I'm leaving. So, but uh, I've been there. I've been to. Uh, there's a abandoned tunnel railway up at I think it was Helensburgh or down in Helensburgh. It's basically a tunnel that is like super long, and people go down there, and it's more of like a attraction than an urbex area because everyone travels through that tunnel now these days or just have fun. Another area we've been to was in I think it was Glebe in Sydney. There's an abandoned I think it was a football uh it was like an abandoned football club, and that one was the scariest. So there's this little like downstairs area with that, which is like the gym area, and that was the most darkest place. It was super dark, yeah, and we we would usually just fuck around with each other and like scream, or like when we're down there just like scream or like tap each other on the shoulders just to make people freak out. uh but the first time I was scared because me personally, I don't like horror as well,
Hmm.
so going down there was like super freaky to me. But as we would like bail out like at least 2 to 3 times going down there. And the first time I went down, I got fucking scared, bro. I was just like, no, I don't want to do this. I was worried to shit, and uh, but it's pretty chill. It gets cold when you do urbex. Uh, yeah. So I think I've only been to like 3 different places. I think one of my friends wanted to go to another one, but that one has security, and he still wanted to go anyways. But other than that, I was like, nah, I'm alright. But the one down the coal factory one, there's a story. Oh, this was a good one. Uh,
Hmm.
we were like coming home. We're heading back home from the coal factory, and we were like walking down like a little trail, and my friends were talking, and I was just at the back, just on my phone, and then I see a snake like travel across them, and then I call it out, and then they paused for like 2 seconds, and they looked around, saw the snake, and then they freaked out. So the way it was like it was like I called it out like, oh, a snake, right? And then they looked at it for like 2 seconds, and then they screamed. It was the funniest thing ever because it was like
Pause.
so delayed.
Yeah.
It was so delayed, and like they ran back. I think it was a red belly black snake. It was. I don't think they're venomous, but their bites do harm.
It's still a snake, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also the one thing about Australia. We have like dangerous animals as well.
Mm-hmm.
But during that day, we caught the very last train back home, and we would have to wait almost a full day or the next day to, get another train, which was kind of fucked. Or else we're just stuck there, and But that day was actually super fun. I enjoyed it. We went to the beach as well, and chilled there as well. The beach there is actually really nice.
The beach is in your area?
Yeah. I feel like yeah, we have Bondi, Bronte Beach, and stuff like that. Yeah. It's actually really our beaches are nice here, I think so. Oh my god, everyone's talking.
Guys, what are you guys doing? Relax, please. I appreciate all the subs. You guys are way too kind. Oh my god.
Yo.
Yo, Nathan, they're just like you. What the heck? Guys, what?
They are like me.
Yo, you're freaking famous, man. You're insane. I'm meeting so many new people. Appreciate you all. Oh my god.
They're all lovely people.
Oh my god. Guys. Relax. Guys. Hello?
Ooh.
Dude. Oh my god. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for the tier 1 subs. Jay, Claytonio. Oh my god, the gifts. Dre. We just met. I appreciate you guys. Oh, there's a hype train. What the heck? Alright, back to your life. Oh, do you need a break? Do you need a hydrate or stretch or anything? Because they redeemed that as well.
Oh, hydrate.
Thanks for the bits, Clay. Thank you. Hydrate for guest. Yes. Thank you guys. Wait, Kenny. Wait. We're almost there. Shh. Anyways, so you talked a lot about.
Right, let's go.
Right.
Oh, squeeze.
Thank you so much for the subs. Yo. Come on, guys. Come on. You guys don't have to sub. Seriously. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh my god. What the hype?
This is our community.
Yo, Nathan. What the Nathan, control, please. I need you to control them.
You don't control them, they just do it.
Clay, dude. Clay
is amazing.
Yo, we just met. Oh my god. I appreciate you. Please. Do you hate money? Please. Relax. Thank you so much.
You say the same to me as well.
I say yes. I was gonna ask you that. I'm gonna ask you that later, alright?
Oh, okay.
Smithy, welcome in. Smithy, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the new friends, guys. Shelby. Oh my god. Dang, y'all are insane. Dude, that was like the fastest hype train I've experienced. What the hell?
Don't worry, with them I've seen faster, it's alright.
Oh, I bet you're a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, thank you.
Right.
Hello? Oh, thank you so much for the 5 gifted, right? It's hard for me to count at this point, seriously. This is insane. By the way, Smitty, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, you guys are monsters. Oh my god! Shelby, the 510 biddies, thank you so much. Shooey! Eunice?
I'll let you have your moment.
Yo, this is supposed to be Nathan's moment, guys. This is his,
Oh no, this is your moment now.
this is the podcast featuring Nathan, guys. Thank you so much, Nathan. I appreciate you for bringing all your friends here. They're super kind. Like, oh my gosh, it's insane. Your
No,
community.
they're all a part of the community. It's insane.
Wow,
They're all
pleasure to
lovely
meet you
people.
all.
Clay.
Clay, what the heck? 1,000 bits. Thank you so much. Show me attention. Oh
Shelby
my
Becker
god.
cheered. X510.
Clay, I show you all the attention. What do you mean?
Clade Neo
Oi,
333
Himlu.
cheered. X1000. Nutfan show me attention.
Jeez. Looney, welcome in. Welcome to the stream. Nathan looking so sexy. Or looks so sexy.
That's stop it.
Keep going. Keep them compliments going for Nathan. Come on, come on. Wow. So anyways, back to the questions. So, pre-COVID, sounds like you had a lot of adventures, you know, photography, checking out urban areas, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
What else did you and your friends like to do? Cuz I'm sure you guys are still in lockdown, you're going through a lot of setbacks because of
Oh,
COVID.
another story before pre-COVID. We used to drink and have parties a lot. Yeah.
Ah, yes, that's my other topic to get over too.
Oh,
So
it's the other topic. Okay,
yeah,
that can
trust
wait.
me,
That can
I'm
wait.
deep diving your life, man. So
That can wait. That can wait.
yeah. Okay. Fine. Here, we'll move on. We'll move on. We're just getting some of the other things out of the way before we get into the juicy details, you know? You know what I
You
mean?
miss party, Andy? I did too.
Let's talk about relationships and if there's any heartbreaks. So it could be anything. Like you could even talk about crushes if you want. Let's start from the very beginning and then get into the juicy details because that's definitely what we're looking for.
Oh,
Okay.
Andre, do you want me to tell them about that story?
Dre, just say yes. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't
No,
mind
no
letting me
pressure. No pressure. If you don't want to talk about things, you don't have to, alright?
Okay.
As long as you're comfortable, please, by all means.
This one was. I feel like it was kind of fucked up, the way she did it.
Wait, is that the first one? Because we need to start from the beginning, man.
That's basically the first one. I kid you not. The first the first actual crush I had was during high school. I feel like
Oh.
relationships wasn't made for me like during primary or like beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Girls are mean, true. I'm kidding. But this was during year 11, right?
Okay.
And throughout year 12 as well. So basically, Dre Summer, which is Andre and I basically had the same crush on the same person, right?
Wow.
And it was, but like I'm friends with him now because the way the story escalated was, it turned out she was already in a relationship.
Oh, skip to the
But, like-
ending. All right.
No, I'll fill in the details.
Yeah, I know. You just gave us a hint of what happened.
Basically, we both like the same girl, right? And
Uh-huh.
it was to the point where I felt like it sort of like broke like Andre's and I's relationship at one point because we just wanted to be around this girl more often, so like we kind of just like stopped talking or like separated from each other just to talk to this one girl.
Yeah, so how'd you guys meet her and what was it like from the start?
So basically, it was I hung out with Andre and the group. So that group is compiled with like a couple of friends. Like I think there was only like 5 of us, and I think it was one of our friends introduced this girl to the group, and she started hanging out with us more often. And I don't know if I'm butchering the story, Andre. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
basically, that was the end of year, I think 11. So that's when we started. She started hanging out with us, and during year 12, we both liked her, and because we both liked her, we had this like idea that we seemed to like both like understand that we both liked her, and we decided to spend like less time with each other to actually like talk to her instead. Like we saw like between each other there was competition, right? And
Oof.
because of that, yeah, it was kind of challenging, right? But like at that time, I didn't really do much. I kept, we more talked like, because I had her in the same class as me for like a couple of terms, and we basically just sat together and talked, hung out, and I didn't do much. That's basically all I did. Andre, I feel like it probably hit him the most because he spent decent amount on her, like his time, his effort, like into her, like, and I saw that and I respected it a lot because like I knew I couldn't do much between him because he spends more time with her than I do. So at that stage, I was more focused on my schoolwork than actually, getting a relationship. And I still liked the person, I still hung out with her and everything, but I focused more on school. And the reason why I said that it hits my friend more, Andre, more, because he's done so much for her. He spent so much time with her as well. And then at the end of high school, I soon to realize that because I joined one of her Discord servers with a friend previously, and me, I was like sort of stalking through like the messages, and it was weird too because before then, like when I was added to the Discord, they kicked me out of the Discord, and I was like, oh, why did I get kicked out? And then she said that she didn't want any like strangers to be in the Discord, but she invited me back anyways. And basically, like after that, I was like going through like the previous messages, and I saw this one message that said, something about her already being in a relationship when I like previously joined and then got kicked out. And apparently she was already dating this one person for more than 3 years or 2 years.
Jeez.
And she never told us about anything about that. And I saw that and I was like, oh, this is fucked, right? So after that, I didn't think much of it after, but I just kind of forgot about her. And then...
Wait. To pause you right there. So, do you know if she realized that she was leading you guys on?
It was hard to tell because the way she did it was somewhat manipulative. It's like, yeah, she knew, but she didn't tell us at all. So she knew she was in a relationship, but she didn't tell us. And I feel like the reason why it affects Andre the most is because, again, he's done so much.
Yeah,
like,
time and energy.
I feel like I didn't do enough. That's why, I kind of just like, made sure. Yeah, she wanted to hide because she was dating an older person than her, I think by 2 years. And, we had previously this drama about someone else dating another person that's older, like in our year, but it wasn't really much of a problem. No one cared as much. But you know, the way she hid it made it, you know, made it harder for us to understand. Like we couldn't hint it, we couldn't see it. But I had to like search back like pretty far, like almost a year or two ago, to find a message about like them dating.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, as soon as she realized that she was, you know, as soon as we realized, like she understood, and like she messaged like a whole paragraph to me, talking to me about the situation, and then I was just like, I just read it and just left it unread and didn't say anything back.
What did she
So,
try to say?
she
Like,
was
how
trying
did
to
she explain?
She was trying to explain the whole situation,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like for me, it shouldn't affect me more. Like it should be more towards Andre. Like I understand I was a part of it, but you know, I feel like I didn't do enough for her anyways,
Mm-hmm.
which was a good thing because in the end, like we seem to realize, and uh, because of that, I just left it unread. I really didn't give two shits.
Yeah.
But she was trying to explain the whole situation of her dating an older person, but it's not the fact that she did. Yeah. So she tried running away from the issue. Yeah. But honestly, Andre, I feel like she should be explaining it to you more than to you more than me, because I think it affects you more than I, you know, personally hit it.
I see.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up the way she did. It's not the fact that she was dating an older person. It's the fact that she hid the relationship in the first place. Drop the name of the woman. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, which was that fucked me up so bad. And ever since I was like, you know, because I knew previously, like I didn't give a shit. Like I don't care. Like the main resolution I had for this year was like I'm not, because I got work, and then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna find a relationship. I'm just gonna focus on work and everything else. But uh, even this year, I actually did in fact get into a relationship. Uh, she was she was previously an online person I met, but we did meet in person at one point beforehand. Basically, we Andre and we had a plan. This was during school. We had a plan to study at a library, and so we all went to a library, and there were two people that hated each other when we invited them, and basically they were like apart from each other, and they didn't want to talk to each other or anything like that. And uh, she, the person that was dating, she got pissed off at the group because, you know, she wasn't able to introduce herself, and because the person was there and she didn't want her to be there. And you know, I didn't introduce myself either properly or anything like that, so I, you know, kind of forgot about it. Apparently shit went down that day as well. Again, more fights in high school. But uh, someone did get slapped, and then basically uh, the person went home, or the girl that I was dating went home. But at that time, we weren't dating, so that was the first impression of like of her when I first met her.
Yeah.
And basically, she slapped someone. That's about it, and there was a
Oh.
fight.
Wow.
But uh, and then like a couple months later, I was playing Valorant, and one of my friends decided to DM her saying that, oh, I know this guy that's Diamond that can carry you. and
Wait, are we in a different girl?
no, it's the same girl.
Okay, couple months later,
That-
got it.
Yeah, a couple months later, basically, my friend tries to hook, not really hook, but like DMs me about, the girl,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, oh, I heard one of your friends told me that you can carry me, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I can. So we played a few games together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was diamonds. And I was just helping her level up her battle pass, and so we just spammed a lot of unrated and spike rush, and we started liking each other, and then we decided to meet up with each other and hang out in person. So after work, you know, I finished work, I came back, I came outside, we were chilling together, and we hung out for like the whole day. Uh, I wouldn't say the relationship was, perfect. It was more like out of the place in a way. We kind of just, you know, at some points we had minor fights, but it wasn't too bad. I think we more just hung out more often. Uh, it was we kind of like, so like during like 2 months into the relationship, I feel like more things actually happened. We kind of like went off and on, like with the relationship. We told each other, oh, maybe we're not right for each other, or then we would always come back and say like, oh, you know, I want to be there with you and stuff like that. But then, basically, we ended neutral. We like both agreed on breaking up. Nothing bad happened. I'd say it was more just uh, it was more just just hanging out. That's about it. Like the relationship didn't wasn't long. It was only 3 months that we actually just dated and chilled together.
Yeah.
We would always go out to KBBQ every time, on her days off, and as well as for me after work, we just chill together and invite a couple people, just have a few drinks and like that. Yeah, but I feel like the one night that it actually ended was during where I invited a couple of friends over to my house. We had a few drinks and stuff like that. I think it was a sleepover. Yeah. So we had a couple of friends sleeping over at my house, and she decided to come in, and then after that we just we watched a movie together, and after that like she DMs me the next day saying that I think we should just break up because she wants to focus on schoolwork, and I don't want to say no, but like if she has her problems, then I'm willing to accept it. So I was just like, yeah, I guess we should just break up, and ever since I'm just focusing on work and just saving. Yeah, that's about it.
Wait, when was this? The breakup?
The breakup was during, I think, this year, March.
So early on this year.
March, oh no, April, yeah.
So even though it was a short experience, how did you, like, what was your mental state during that time when she ended it?
I honestly, I wasn't like sad or anything. I felt
Mhm.
like if she needed it, because she was kind of hinting to like end the relationship.
I see.
Yeah, but uh, even though it was short, it was like for like a first one, I think it was pretty sweet. I think it was alright. Both sides we did pretty well. Like to actually care for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would stay up like most of the nights just talking. I don't want to go into spicy stuff, but
You don't got it.
yeah.
And
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, it was really wholesome. it was cute as well, yeah.
Anything after?
Anything after? I feel like we haven't talked in a while now. Like we didn't like afterwards. I felt like there wasn't much connection with us. We just kind of moved on and just yeah, yeah. We basically just moved on with our life. That's about it.
Question. The real question is, who did she slap?
She slapped one of our mates. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, she was going off at someone, and yeah, she just slapped him and then just left. But that was the first impression of her. So
Yeah.
I like for me, I wouldn't judge someone off like their first impression.
Hmm.
You usually just have to kind of know them before if you want to be into one or be in one. Yeah, I wouldn't judge it off a slap, but that's also one thing.
So
I
up
don't know.
until now, like you've been working on yourself, focusing on your own priorities, no other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I've just been focusing on just. I feel like I feel like focus on yourself more than anything else at the moment.
Hmm.
Like even during COVID, you got to take care of yourself as well. Because I feel like COVID hit us pretty bad afterwards. Like, because this is before like the whole lockdown for us. So during April, because I was still working, and then lockdown hits, and then it's such a struggle because for some reason everyone still goes out. I don't know why. Our state calls for like a whole like state lockdown, and so many people are still going out. It's insane.
Hmm.
But after the relationship, I don't know, not much happened. We just stopped talking to each other. I guess because she's in uni, and I'm just working, so full-time work is just a struggle back then for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like just focusing on myself, helps a lot.
For sure, for sure. Hello, Yumi. Kisses. Welcome in. How's it going? So, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask Nathan. We're just gonna continue moving along the way through this conversation. So, straying away from relationships, let's talk about your social life. So, talk about when you started getting into partying, and
Oh,
yeah, you could tell
alright,
fun
okay.
stories if you'd like.
Okay, so parties. I started partying when I was 17. Uh, there was this. It wasn't much of a party. The first one I did was a gather, which is like we would gather at like a park or something like that, and we would just have drinks and chill. Uh, the first one that was the first time I drank. I was 17 years old. We were chilling at a park, and I didn't get drunk or anything. I feel like I drank a lot, but I didn't get drunk. Uh, but after that, uh, my friends wanted to just keep partying. It wasn't. Well, the thing is, with parties, I think I've only went to one, but it wasn't like as big. It was just more like a birthday party. We just hung out, chilled. There's beats going on, people dancing.
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like more of the memories come from gathers, because more fucked up shit happens in gathers because we're drinking at a public park and you know there's cops that go around. There was this one time that before the day of graduation or after graduation, uh, this was still in lockdown, which was bad, right? We had a gather at the at the oval of our school.
Mm-hmm.
because they usually open our oval up to the public, so that way people can go through to the other street on the other side. And they opened it up. It was like 12 a.m. in the morning. It was fucked because some chick was like holding a bag of goon above my head and like drowning me with it. And that day also some people climbed back into our school. You know, they triggered the alarm as well, and cops arrived. And that day everyone fucking bolted and got the fuck out. And dipped because cops were there, but apparently they were really nice. They were just like, oh, don't climb the school, you know you guys can drink, but just don't be in school grounds. Yeah. Most I feel like I met a lot of lightweight people as well. People get fucked up with like one shot of vodka. There was these two girls, right, who were at a friend's birthday party, and they had one shot of vodka, and they started throwing up on my friend's floor. And another one was outside the balcony throwing up as well.
Oh no.
I was just like, my god. Like, if you're gonna throw up, at least do it somewhere that isn't the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Best, yeah, soju. My opinion, I think soju is the best alcohol by far. I love peach. I think it's blueberry flavor. That's also really nice. Yeah, I do like soju. Soju's really good. I was able to buy a heap of them for like $6, which was super cheap per bottle, and it was like so good.
Mm-hmm.
Strawberry is also really nice, but I do not like whiskey. Whiskey is the worst.
So that's your least favorite, and soju's your favorite?
Yeah, soju's my favorite. I've had, I think, a variety of drinks. I had Hennessy, Malibu, Alizé, a bunch of like beers, soju. I'm soon to try rum. I haven't tried rum. I've tried a bit of wine as well. I want to consider myself like a heavy drinker. I can drink a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but
Have you ever blacked out?
No, I haven't. The most I've drank, like in one go, I'm pretty sure I did it on stream, was 28 shots,
Oof.
and it was 28 shots of soju and some whiskey in 2 hours, and I didn't throw up, but I did throw up, sorry, but I didn't black out.
Okay,
So
good. Let it out.
it was on stream as well. Yes, I did throw up on stream.
Oh, jeez.
It was in the toilet. It's
Wait,
alright.
so when, like, what was your first drink ever?
My first drink ever was a northern. I think it was no, it was Corona. Beer. Yeah, it was beer.
Mhm.
I think I enjoy beer still. Beer is really nice. I think some people don't like it, and that's respect. I respect it. But again, I like soju. I like it a lot actually. Soju is really nice.
So what type of drunk would you consider yourself as?
I'm a drunk, like, as in like. What do you mean? What do you mean, like, what type of drunk?
So when you get drunk, how are you feeling? Are you like a loud
I feel-
person? Are you like a sleepy drunk? An emotional one? There's
I feel
different
like-
types.
I feel like I'm more of like. I would say I feel like I'm loud. I don't get too loud though, but I feel like when I do get drunk, I feel like I'm able to like handle it. Like I feel like I'm like mentally, I'm still like, able to, focus, handle it. And I get more giggly.
Giggly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I do get loud sometimes, and
Mm-hmm.
I would laugh a lot, I would say. Uh, Other than that, I don't get too emotional. I feel like it's just more like I want to have a good time in a way when I drink.
Good vibes, good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. That's what it is.
What's the dumbest thing you've done from drinking?
Drinking. Do I remember? Do I remember anything dumb? I think actually I didn't think I did anything stupid, because I feel like I wasn't drunk to the point where I would do something stupid. I feel like because I would consider myself a somewhat heavy drinker, but I wouldn't consider myself like I wouldn't do something stupid if I were to drink a lot. I feel like I'm able to control that, even when I'm like 28 shots in. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I'm able to control like what I do. Yeah, you were
Gotcha,
pretty
gotcha.
coherent. Yeah.
So, more on the topic of social life and all that type of stuff. Have you ever been to an event or concerts of that sort?
I feel like with concerts, again, I only turned 18 like at the
Yeah.
very end of high school, uh, which was last year, which means like I couldn't do much anyways, because then COVID hits and then there's not much to do. All the concerts closed, like nothing's happening. So yeah, but I feel like I wouldn't consider myself like a party like you know clubbing type of guy, or like going to raves or anything like that. My friends did invite me, or my cousins did invite me to go raving one point.
Hmm.
I was like, if you pay for my ticket, then I will. But other than that, nah, I haven't been much of like a raver or like clubbing type of guy.
No worries. What type of music do you like listening to? Do you have a favorite song and artist?
Oh, currently, I think Drake's new album is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fair Trade is probably, I've been listening to that way too much at the moment. But uh my genres, I feel like I listen to a lot of, I feel like at the moment a lot of rap, R&B. Uh at some points, like when I'm asleep or something like that, lo-fi or like electro pop. I do like pop as well. I feel like my music genre is like all over the place.
Yeah.
But when I'm like streaming, it's usually like rap or R&B, or like
Mm-hmm.
when I'm it usually changes when I'm like, depending on my mood or like what I'm doing. So if I'm at work, I'll probably listen to like again electro pop. If I'm streaming, it's usually pop R&B, sleeping, lo-fi. Occasionally, I will just listen to like radio music, which is pop, mainstream. Yeah, it's weird to listen to jazz. Is it weird to listen to jazz when you're asleep? Uh, Jazz, it's not bad. I don't mind jazz. I don't know a lot of jazz songs. I feel like I'm more compact with rap and R&B the most at the moment. Yeah.
Right. Aside from music, are you big on anime, shows, movies? What are you into
Ooh,
watching?
I I was really into the whole Marvel series as well, and
Okay.
I used to watch a lot of anime when I was in high school. Now, not really. One of my favorite shows of animes I've watched is Plastic Memories. It's a drama, uh, comedy, romance. I feel like I usually stick to like drama, romance animes because it's funny to see relationships build up as well, and to see them actually build up, which is actually pretty sweet.
Let's do a top 5.
My top 5 animes.
Yep.
Oh, number 1, Plastic Memories.
Mm-hmm.
Second one would be World End. I don't know. It's more niche, that one. Third one would be Demon Slayer. Obviously, hands down, it's probably one of my favorites as well. Fourth and fifth. If I wait, give me a second. If I my list, because I have a list. Oh, My Romantic Teen Comedy is actually really good. Konosuba, I think, would be fifth. Konosuba is really funny, but I
Gotcha.
feel like, yeah, I've only watched a little bit. I've only watched like just above 100 animes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not much, but I tend to watch more niche, like less like outgoing animes, but like big popular ones. Like I haven't seen Tokyo Ghoul. I haven't seen like Attack on Titans. Those big ones.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're too. I don't know. I find niche ones more like easier to watch. Less time spent on it because they have less episodes. Yeah. Made in Abyss is also really good as well.
For sure.
Yeah, and with movies like in general, I'm like a huge Marvel fan. I love Marvel. I never read their comics, but you know, I have like rewatched like Marvel so many times. Like
Favorite hero and movie?
favorite hero, I'd say Thor. Thor, and favorite movie, I would say Iron Man. Iron Man 2.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2 was really good. Actually, no, I'm gonna say Infinity War. Infinity War was pretty good.
Mm.
Iron Man 2 was actually, it hit different. Oh no, was it 3 or 2? 3 was the Mandalorian, I think it was. And I think 2 was the Whiplash guy. No, it's 3 then. Because 3 was the Christmas one, yeah. It was number 3, yeah. Number 3, it hit different. But I think Infinity War is probably the best.
Alright, let's talk more on adventure and traveling. You already mentioned that you went cliff jumping, you want to go to Norway and Thailand. So, where do you want to go? And what do you want to do?
Oh, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Again, Norway is special. I do want to travel a lot more. I want to go to like Japan. I heard New Zealand was also really good as well. I feel like the past like years of me traveling to Vietnam has just been, it's been repetitive. So that's why, I wanted to tell my parents that, I want to travel, to different places, experience new things. I also want to go to Europe as well. Greece is also really, really nice and beautiful.
Greece.
Greece is really fun. And Japan, obviously, because, I don't know, everyone wants to go to Japan. All the weebs. I wouldn't consider myself a weeb. No, I am a weeb. But, yeah, Japan, because, their culture, He's a boba addict. Weeb life true. Yeah. But Japan Japan has, it's Japan's culture is really nice. I do want to see like, the cherry blossom blooms as well. That's also really nice. Again, most of the like iconic like uh photography like visions usually come into play as well when it comes to traveling. Uh, you want to take more photos in areas that you've never been before. Again, Japan, Norway. I'm pretty sure in Greece there's this really nice beach that has, two like big, what do you call it? Big, like I wouldn't say mountains, but like semi like big mountains there. They like cover both sides of the beach, and like in between it is the beach, which looks really nice. Uh, yeah, I also want to go, deep sea diving as well. That's also really
Nice.
fun. I've been to the coral reef up in Queensland. Uh, we didn't go deep sea diving. We were only on the shallow part of the actual reef, which is really nice. Yeah.
What'd you see?
Again, oh, you can go first.
Oh no, like what did you see there?
Oh, what did I see?
Yeah.
It was we did see a shark. It was a friendly shark. We couldn't go back into the water because of it.
Oh.
I did get seasick once.
Mm-hmm.
I did throw up. But other than that, I feel like boat traveling for me isn't the best because I get sick pretty bad. I do get sick often when we boat travel. I think when we were in Vietnam, the same thing happened. We were like crossing a lake, and I felt really sick, and then I just threw up at the back because you can open the back and just throw up. They didn't have any plastic bags. They just, if you want to throw up, just go to the back of the boat and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
traveling is, yeah, special to me. I really want to do it later on in the future of my life as well.
Yeah, once the borders, get uplifted, right?
Yeah. I think that's soon. I think we're lifting up restrictions now in October.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the borders though, but other than that, yeah. I want to get out of this place.
Sounds good. So, as of now, what are your current aspirations and goals in life?
Goals in life. I do want to keep, pursuing with streaming. I think, all the support I've been getting lately makes me want to keep streaming, I was gonna say I want to get partnered, but nah, not really, because my full-time job is also there. I want to also pursue what I'm doing, like, with mechanic wise. I really do like the job, but eventually it's gonna get repetitive. I'm not gonna, You reckon I can do it? Really? What with streaming?
Yeah, why not? What the heck?
I can, but I feel like it's a lot of time and dedication. But like when I started streaming, I would be working like 9 hours a day, and then when I get back home, I would stream for like 3.5 hours. But that would only give me like 5 hours of sleep for work the next day. And because my job is like physically draining, it's hard to keep a
The
hold
energy.
of that, schedule. Yeah, and the energy. And when I started like my affiliate goal, I streamed for like every day for a whole month.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just been, because I'm back to work, it's just been even more draining. You know, at the moment there's a lot going on for work, and I've been streaming a little bit less, but I want to get back into it. Yeah, it would be a massive potential to see the growth in my streams. I think that would be really, it would encourage me even more to stream, to dedicate more time for it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they feel like I can do it, then I'll do my best to do so. You know, stream more often because currently I'm just slacking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the 24-hour stream got me, and as well as work. Yeah.
All
Other
right.
than that, I want to, yeah, the goals again, you know, to travel. That's the biggest goal. To chill on that, and as well as work on myself. I think that's the most important for a goal. Working on yourself, being able to maintain like a good health, and uh, not even just that. Goals to meet like new people. Like I feel like Twitch has been a platform for me to meet amazing people. Like when it came to like the community I grew up on with Twitch, and everyone else that I met on it as well. So yeah.
Here you go. Your goals and aspirations. Well, I guess this is a perfect time to transition to Twitch, the main topic. So,
Yeah.
talk about how you were first introduced to Twitch and why you decided to stream.
So Twitch, at the beginning or at the end of last year, when when Cold War released, the Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I I got into Twitch when I came across the two people that are in chat right now, Miss Gracie and Unwanted Revenge. Uh, they were streaming a COD game that we played against them, right? And we were destroying them so hard, right? We like 6-0'd them on a game of Search and Destroy, and I was in like a 6-man stack, so we were like, it was like basically we had the communication with our team, and we basically just, as soon as we won the game, we just started shit talking because of how bad they were, and they turned out to be really really nice people. So I didn't shit talk that game, I just let my friends do it.
Uh-huh.
And uh basically they were streaming that game, and I jumped into their stream and said like, I apologize to them for my friends being like, assholes. You guys are really nice people, good game. And I added them, and I soon we played a couple of games afterwards, but then I jumped off the game for like 3 months, and after that, like I didn't, we didn't talk to them. I didn't talk to them as much. But as soon as I hopped back on, uh, Gracie started streaming, and she streams a COD game, and I asked if we can play, and I guess I assumed we just all played together. I kept her stream on lurk, and and every now and then when I'm not streaming, or when I'm not gaming, sorry, I'll just be in her chat and just chilling. And those two people also inspired me to start streaming as well. They gave me the confidence and everything to start streaming. I joined their community, and they built such an amazing group of people to hang out with, and to play games and to enjoy life with. I feel like the only reason why I come back to the game is because of them. They've been so amazing and so supportive of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I started like doing proper streams when I was going for my affiliate. Uh, that was like
July.
that was July. Yeah, I think it was
July.
July.
Yeah, I took
Yeah.
note of that. July 10th, 2021, first stream.
Yeah. That was my grind for affiliate. I did stream like some games beforehand, but it wasn't like a proper stream. I'll just like turn on stream for like 10 minutes and then close it.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah.
yeah. But like other than that, that was the proper stream I actually did. I started the stream up. They've been they were like so supportive. They shouted out my channel, my Twitch channel, and then I hit affiliate within a week, basically, because they've just been keeping me lurked, tabs. They just kept chatting in chat as well. And then after that, I got affiliate, and then during affiliate, the month afterwards, I streamed basically a whole month for like every day for a whole month, and yeah, ever since the community that we built has just been amazing. Uh, every time when someone wants to get help with affiliate, we'd all keep a tab up, help them out, give them support, talk in their chats and stuff like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
more like if cracked gameplay and wholesome personality. Aw. Yeah, and COD wise, I get COD cheating because I play really well.
Very nice. So, talk about what you're currently streaming, category-wise, and what your current
Uh,
schedule is.
Currently, I stream COD most of the times. Uh, I did stream Val, but at the moment, I feel like Valorant is not in a good spot for me. I feel like it just hasn't been at the moment. It's just been so tough in every game I play now, even if it's like unrated or comp. I just feel like I'm not fucked playing the game anymore. Uh, I would always peek a corner and just get one tap. I'm like, nah, I don't want to play. But uh, my I do want to like branch out on other games though. But at the moment, I felt like COD's community and the community we built on it has just been so much supportive. So I kind of want to just stick with COD for now.
Hmm.
I feel like the chat interaction and everyone talking as well in chat, it's just better when I stream on COD. And because of that, I just want to stick to COD for now. My streaming schedule is kind of been rough for the past few weeks. I feel like it's just been, uh, some days I just don't want to stream, or like if one of the persons in the community that's streaming, like Gracie or like another person, I'll just let them stream and then I'll just chill and play with them regardless. You know, because I feel like as soon as one person jumps into one stream, they will just stick to that stream for the whole the whole hour or two, depending how long people stream for. Uh, yeah. It's I basically just want to give people turns of streaming as well. Like I'm cool with it if they stream. Uh, I don't want to like cross streams either way as well because there's no point of that because we're basically in the same game.
Sure. So, other things to talk about in regards to streaming. Do you have your like a favorite moment, memory of streaming, or even stream itself?
Oh, I would say it has to be the first 24-hour stream. Or even, I feel like the milestone streams, like the 48-hour and the 24, has just been amazing. The nuke, S&D nukes, surely. Okay, so basically, what a nuke is in the game is you get basically 30 kills without dying, right, once. And you get to call in a score streak that is a nuke in the game. You're basically dropping a nuke on them. And during one of my games, because we play a certain game mode, which is search and destroy, which means you get 1 life every round, and there's basically 11 rounds. So if you win 6 rounds, then you win the game. For both sides, and basically, it's challenging because you can't in every game in every round you need to at least get like I think it's 4 kills every round. I think it was I think it's 4 kills every round, and to get that is also really hard. You can also just save your KDA and wait for the next round to go by. But the reason why it was special because it was my first search and destroy nuke I have ever got, and it was also against a friend that we met and also brought to the community with. Her name's Echo. Yeah, so basically that was also really good. But I feel like I've had many Twitch stream moments. Yeah, again, right. The amount of people that supported me for like my 24-hour and 48-hour streams was insane. All the donations and everything during those streams have just been amazing. Doing those long hour streams, it's there's one point where everyone would be asleep.
Yeah.
And, like, it would just be you playing or just chilling. Most people did in fact stay up, just to hang out with me, which was so special. Like during those times, it's just amazing. Oh my god.
What was that like, going through those 24 and 48-hour streams?
So
even when it was silent.
So the 48-hour stream, or the 24-hour stream, I was able to do it in one go. The 48, I took 2 naps in between. However, the stream for some reason got like delayed at some point. I don't know how, but there was pretty bad delay on it, so I had to cut the VOD and restart the stream again. Yeah, so I had to cut it twice. Am I doing a 72-hour stream? I was planning on doing one.
Oh gosh.
During my birthday, because it's also a what do you call it? There's also a public holiday the following day of the what do you call it? The weekend, which means I saw that opportunity. I was like, oh shit, maybe I should do it. 72 hours would be pretty good. I wouldn't mind doing a 72-hour though.
So why did you decide to do the 48-hour stream?
Oh, because Tina did it as well. Basically, Christina, I did in fact drop a lot of subs, which made me feel bad because she didn't expect to hit it so soon. So I dropped, I think it was almost 50 gifted subs into her stream, and I felt bad because she was doing it like the next week, or the same week, and I was like, damn, maybe I should just do it with her, because I did the 24-hour stream with her as well. And I was like, fuck it, let's do the 48. Why not? And yeah, so basically I did it with her. Sadly, she was always in a 5-man for Valorant, so I didn't really play Valorant as much.
Yeah.
So we didn't really play together. So I was kind of just doing my own thing on COD. That was also the same day I got tilted in Valorant, which made me stop playing it.
So speaking of Christina, how did you guys meet and build on that friendship?
Well, so the way we met
Mhm.
was through a it was through a raid. It was X Betty, if you know who that is.
I don't think so.
No, like she's another OC streamer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, basically she raided Christina, and I think I dropped a few bits into her stream, and then because at that time I played Valorant, so I just kept her tabbed as well. Uh, we started playing games together. We both we both streamed. She wanted to get carried. I was like, sure. But yeah, she was just trying to get to plat, and I was doing my best to get her to plat. So, and honestly, the highlights on a stream with me was actually pretty good. There was this one highlight. I don't know if I can find it, but it was my first game playing with her. I did like a nasty Sage War to get a kill, which was actually really cool. I didn't expect to do it, but yeah. Christina's a cutie. She is. But I don't know if I can find it. Wait, let me find it. You think you can put it on your stream?
Yeah. Just send it to me and I'll take a look.
Okay. So this is this. Let me grab this. I'll send it to you on Discord. Hydrate, yeah, sure.
Yes. Make sure to hydrate. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, I was a Sage one trick as well. I only spam Sage because I was really good at it. That clip was like, it was like super clean. I love.
All right. Yo, gamer dude, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you. Let me see.
Oh, this wasn't even on my main account. This was on a Smurf account as well.
Okay, let me just play this real quick. Let me see.
Yes. Okay.
Healing. Placing sentry.
Oh
That wall,
my
that
god.
It was
Fucking hell, Nathan.
Dang,
Son of a
dude.
How tall am I? I'm 3'11".
And her reaction afterwards was hilarious.
Every time I watch
But
Nathan do
basically,
these walls, like,
I play Sage to
Uh-huh.
not do like to not block like pushes or anything. I do Sage to just do off angles or like dumb walls like that.
Wow. That movement was clean.
It was clean, yeah. I was like, holy shit, I got that kill. The bullet was like nowhere near him as well when I hit it. But I feel like our bond, Christina and I's bond, has just been, so much better now. She hasn't streamed in a while because her subathon.
Mm-hmm.
Natfan is always a carry.
Alright. Let's see. So, this is not a serious question, but I'll ask you it anyways. Do you like gifting, or do you just hate money? If you say both, I understand.
Alright, so here's the thing, alright. For me, I feel like I feel like gifting to people is more enjoying than receiving. So I feel like when I receive stuff, like it's too much for me. but gifting is a lot, easier for me when it comes to gifting subs, stuff like that. I'm happy to make people's days. I do it because, I want to support not even just like, just more like smaller streamers. Because I understand Twitch is somewhat of a hard platform to, get into or to get big on as well. Most people work, or most people, dedicate a lot of time to Twitch, and, it's been either hard for them or, there's not much support that goes around it. One of my friends, mates, he started streaming like 2 years ago, and he currently sits on like, less than like, 5 viewers a day, if so. It is hard to have that, that support when it comes to Twitch. I feel like the reason why, it's been so much, easier for me is because I have like a community that supports everyone. Building up a community just makes it so much easier. It makes it so much, better and more, there's more chat interactions as well. People talk. Other than that, it is hard. So that's why I give, like, I give back just to help them, make them feel better. If it makes someone's day, that's even better. I don't hate money. I think I feel like, ever since I got a job, it just makes it so much better to, spend it. I do save, obviously. I don't spend, excessive amounts unless I have to. For some people.
Got it.
But yeah, I do want to keep saving as well. But every now and then drop a few subs, just to show like I support, I have a few friends that stream, and I want to give them support because, again, Twitch is a hard platform to grow up on, and people do it. I know most people are going for partner.
Yeah.
And to show support, again, I'm like gifting subs to them, just to help them out, because partnered is also a struggle to get to as well for smaller streamers in general. Yeah. Natfan is the Twitch sugar daddy. Oh god.
Have you met up with anyone from Twitch?
No. I only properly got to use Twitch this year, and because of that, again, COVID is a thing.
Yeah.
You can't really do much because of it.
True.
I know some Twitch streamers from Sydney, I think. I don't know much. But yeah, most of the COD community that we're in want to meet up. Because most of them are in New Zealand, some of them are in Queensland, Adelaide. Yeah. Oi, Shadow, what's up? How are you?
Welcome in, Shadow. Hello.
Yeah, Shadow is one of the good snipers on COD.
Oh, let's go. All right.
He's better than me. Nah, but I feel like, yeah, COD, we made our community through like snipers. There's a lot of good clips of everyone hitting insane feeds on COD, which makes it super cool. I swear, everyone on OC is just really good at Call of Duty. I feel like because we don't have like much of like a player pool when it comes to our certain game mode that we play, so we're always like versing the same people over and over. And because of that, it's just like it's just been, you're playing against the same people. Everyone gets better because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with your username?
my username. It used to be Nutfan, because I usually get told, not told, but I had a lot of nicknames in high school. There was Nutfan, Natfan, Wongfan, you know. There's a lot of them. Basically, the Wongfan one was actually hilarious. We all got we all shaved our heads, our hair.
Mm-hmm.
And we went like basically went almost bald, and one of my friends pulled up an image with me and if you don't know Wong from Avengers or Marvel, Doctor Strange is like, you know, side guy at the moment. Basically, I sort of looked like him, and they called me Wong Fan, which was hilarious. Yeah, my fan almost bald. Yeah, I it was super funny. Our whole group basically went bald in high school, which was hilarious. Uh, yeah, but basically my name came from, you know, just what people called me in high school.
Got it.
Yeah.
So who created your emotes for you?
My emotes. That was one of my friends named Steven. Simply Korean. He's a really good artist. And I asked him if you're able to create some emotes, and he did it in like less than a week, which was actually super cool. I was able to get it all done like super fast, and you know, put into my Twitch really quick. And you know, I have his special thanks because, you know, he's a really chill guy. I think he's going for affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so be sure to follow him. I think he's just trying to get his average views up. So yeah, again, it's hard to you know, grow up on Twitch. I think he's been streaming longer than I have, but I think his average views are very like low at the moment. He doesn't stream as much anymore. So yeah. But he's a really nice guy, and he's super chill, and I love him for making my emotes.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like I brought up the idea, like I asked him like a day beforehand, like, oh, are you able to create my emotes? You know, that would be cool if you do. And he's like, yeah, I'm down. And he did it in like, you know, a few days, which was insane. And yeah, I got it put into my channel. Yeah.
Very nice. So on the flip side of having a lot of positive aspects with Twitch, have you ever dealt with hate or negativity such as trolls? And if so, how did you handle the situation?
Oh, lots. With Twitch and trolls, yes, because COD is a very toxic place when it comes to, you know, search and destroy. Everyone's really hating on each other. And then like when I started streaming, like my Twitch sort of got out there, but like not like far out there. But
Mm-hmm.
so because OC is small, right? Again, it was you tend to see more of the same people frequently, and usually because of that, they tend to catch on to if you're streaming or not. Usually, because my other friends stream as well, they usually are able to, you know, link up with my Twitch as well, like find out my Twitch as well, because like I either chat in, you know, the chat and they find it. Because of that, when I usually stream, I usually get somewhat hate comments on Twitch because, you know, they jump into the stream, or like they try to stream snipe, and then, you know, they just shit talk.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I just, you know, again, I don't really give a fuck about them. If they're only there to just talk shit, then, you know, they just get banned. There was this one incident where my cousin's friends joined, right, on my Twitch, and you know they never met my COD community friends, right? The friends that I have in COD, and they basically joined, and then they just started shit talking my friends, and this was super like hard on me because I knew both my friends as well as them, and if they joined and then just started shit talking, and I'm just like, oh fuck these guys, I'm just gonna ban them, and then just talk to them later because they're also my friends as well, the ones
Yeah.
I'm banning, and you know if you're only gonna join into like someone's channel just to shit talk, like there's really no point. I see no benefits of it. Again, that's usually because like when I grew up, I soon to realize that what's the point in shit talking? Like there's no benefit. You're not getting anything out of it. You're just talking on the mic. If you want serious beef, then do it in person, not on the mic. Like
Mhm.
again, you're just hiding like your identity as well. Yeah. But usually I get told off for being extremely sweaty in COD. But realistically, I'm just relaxed. I don't get too annoyed about it because I'm not sweating my ass off like killing all these guys. But I'm more just trying to relax, have a good time with my friends, chill, hang out with them.
Yeah. So that's the talk about haters.
Yeah.
So, finishing up with Twitch, what advice would you give to small streamers and for just new Twitch streamers that want to grow?
I feel like if you wanna grow on Twitch, I feel like having a bond with a community that is willing to support is probably ideally the best because you already have that support already built on because everyone's there for you. I used to play on a community on CS:GO. It was called Killzone Gaming. They built their communities. Fuck, it's big now, right? I used to be one of the admins on a server until I quit playing CS. I think I had like 7,000 hours on CS. It was insane,
Mm-hmm.
but back then I only played CS and yeah, nothing else. But having that community built on just makes it so supportive and everyone's willing to support you. Uh, Even when haters come in, like if they like say one bad word, bro, everyone's on everyone's on him, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just makes it so much wholesome to have people come in, say hi, appreciate what you're doing, supporting. Like me, I was able to when I started this community, just connected me with so many other streamers, even smaller ones as well, some big ones, some ones that are even trying to go for partnered. Yeah, it's just been such a wholesome place. The community that we built on.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. So, other than Twitch, what other social media do you use?
Uh, I only just downloaded Twitter. Cause my friends wanted me to download Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make that as a page as well when I go live. I do have Instagram, but I felt like that was more personal. That's why I didn't really reveal it as much.
Yeah.
But some of my community friends do have it. But I do want to make it public, but not really at the moment because
Okay.
a lot of my personal friends are on there as well. So because I don't want, because I just wanted to have it as like a, you know, a private thing.
Yeah, it's fair.
But I do. You are there, Andre. Yeah, I wanted to have Twitter as something public. So if I go live, that would be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We do. I do use Discord a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm on there most of the times. I feel like Discord has been a lot better to interact with than other social medias.
Yeah.
Like even big ones. Like I feel like Discord has just been the biggest. I don't know why. Like even with like Instagram, Twitter and stuff, I feel like Discord has more interactive, like you interact more with, you know, your viewers and stuff with Discord. I do have YouTube, but that's just there. I wanted to make like Twitch highlights. That was like one of my plans to do. You know, just download a whole VOD and then just edit it to see.
There you go.
Know, all the moments. That would be good, yeah. I do have my Steam on my page, I think so. Just to show off my Steam page. That's about it, yeah. Other than that, I do want to branch. I do want to use Twitter more and YouTube more, mostly. When it comes to streaming. I think those are the big ones that I want to focus on most.
Sounds good. Okay. Here we are. Nearing the end. Remember, if anyone has a question in chat, feel free to ask Nathan while he's here. We're going to get into the random questions to finish things off. What are some of your greatest pet peeves?
Greatest pet peeves?
Just, yeah, biggest pet peeves.
I don't know. Like, stuff that pissed me off the most?
Yeah, irritates you, whatever.
I feel like the only thing that pisses me off is hate, drama. Like I hate being in dramas. Like if I'm centered into like some drama, I get pissed off because, you know, I don't want to be involved with anything that, you know, that's hate related. I feel like, you know, again, I'm more of a person that just loves to chill around, you know, hang out, be friendly. Like when it comes to hate, it just pisses me off. You know, again, if it's towards one of my friends, I'll shit talk back, you know, because I hate it. I don't know. I feel like there's not much pet peeves I have, except hate. I feel like I'm more of a positive person when it comes to like chatting. But other than that, when someone shit talks or anything like that, I'll just get off at them. That's about it.
Totally fair.
I don't know anything else that would actually piss me off.
What would you consider as your greatest accomplishment in life and greatest failure/regret?
Greatest accomplishment in life. I feel like the greatest accomplishment is probably meeting or having met everyone on this platform, because I feel like it made it so much special to me to see that more people actually care, to see that it's not only just, you know, like friends or like real life friends that actually care. There's actually like a whole, like another different area of like, you know, online that actually cares about others, which makes it so special to me. Yeah, when it came to like, you know, talking about like how, you know, about life in general and how much support they gave me, it's just been so special. When it came to like, you know, encouragement, you know, starting streams, being able to stream, all these things, even personal lives. They've been super supportive about that as well. It's just been unreal. The platform that the platform that Twitch has done is just amazing to see it. The biggest failure in life, I don't know. I think the biggest fail would have to be not being able to meet like newer people like this. I feel like if I was able to meet these guys earlier or sooner, like all the worries about like everything when it came to like family issues or like mental state would be fixed. I feel like I wasn't much of like a depressed person. I did have my phases, and like those phases I felt like I needed someone to be there, and not having these guys or have met these guys beforehand, it probably would have made it better. These guys have just been so special to me ever since like meeting them.
Very nice. Question in chat. So I asked you about your future goals and aspirations in general, but how about what's your future goals before the end of the year?
For the end of the year. God, I don't know. I feel like again, just focusing on work is probably the most important. I think during the end of October or beginning of November, I'm gonna be moving out of Sydney for a little bit for work, which means that there won't be any streams for some time or like me gaming because I'll be in a different state working. So we'll just have to see after that. But other than that, I feel like the only goal for this year is just to focus on work and again, just studies as well because I'm an apprentice.
Yeah. Got it. Another question in chat. Would you rather jump into the Marvel or DC universe, and with what powers?
Oh. Marvel or DC? I feel like I would stick with Marvel. I don't know a whole lot about DC. And with what powers? I don't know. I would like to have every single power.
Okay.
I would like to have all like their powers combined. I would want to see that.
There you go. All right. Fair.
That sounds a little bit selfish, but
Big brain. All right. Down to the last 3 questions for me. So, what was your first impression of me?
oh, I honestly, when I first met you, like through Tina's raid, it was actually, I don't remember. You were playing Val, I think it was. I wasn't sure. I don't think it was a podcast. I'm pretty sure. No. It was a podcast. I'm stupid. Sorry. It wasn't a raid. It was when Tina did her podcast on the channel, and I jumped in just to listen to her story, and then like the way it escalated was, you doing the podcast. Actually, it was actually super chill the way you laid it out, everything like that. It made me want to just keep jumping back into the stream and just listening. I usually play games, and during that I'll just lurk but also listen in. Hearing other people's stories just, it's different. I feel like when you're listening to people's stories, you want to, you know, tune in more to see how people are going with their life, you know, because everyone has a different story and it changes, you know, everything else as well. You know, what you're doing is actually really good, you know. It helps me understand not only just, you know, what you're doing for other people, but also the situation that others are in as well. And, you know, and it also helps me, you know, donate a bit more to them.
Thank you, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you stuck around.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are the top 5 streamers in no particular order that you find yourself watching nowadays?
The most?
Yeah.
Oh. So the most, I would say they're pretty big, not gonna lie, but
That's okay.
yeah, I usually watch Shroud a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shroud is, you know, because I grew up playing FPS games. Shroud played a lot of Counter-Strike back then. But at the moment, I feel like he's around a 5 because he doesn't play as much anymore. He still plays it, but I usually tune in to watch his like Valorant streams, or like he did play Vanguard at some point, so I tuned into that. I'd say you would probably be like my second.
What the...
Yeah,
Honored.
You know, having you on the stream or even just listening is just, you know, it's super relaxing to hear everyone's, you know, stories in general. Just makes it, you know, super nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just screwed up the order. I said 5 and then 2.
Oh no, you don't have to do any specific orders. It's all on you, man.
Oh, that's alright. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'll save number 1 for last.
Okay.
My third, I watch a lot of Plu. I don't know if you know Plu, but she's
Yeah.
a Twitch streamer. Yeah, she's a Valorant streamer. Again, I'm usually watching Valorant streams a lot often.
Mm-hmm.
And then my fourth would have to be X Chai. He's one of the what do you call it? He's one of a he's a owner of a sniping team on COD. He's trying to get partnered at the moment, which is awesome. He's a part of our community as well.
Sick.
He's a super chill guy.
Mm-hmm.
He loves our community. We love him as well. He plays a lot of COD, and he's really good at the game as well. And for number 1, I would say I watch the most of mainly our community's Twitch. So when one of our community members like Gracie or like Clay, when they go live, I'm always there to watch because I'm happy to support all of them. They've supported me the most, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
me being there watching also, you know, cheers me up as well.
Nice. There you go. Top 5. And now, the last question. Using your personal connection, keep that in mind, who would you like to see as a future guest on this podcast and why?
Oh, there's a lot of people I want to see on here. Like, there's Grace, there's Miss Gracie _X. She was the one that actually, she was one of the people that encouraged me to start streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Chai on here as well. Like, cause he's going for his partnership, and you know,
Yeah.
he needs all the support he can get. You'd love to see Gracie on here, yeah. I want to see Chai as well. Another person is the anti-Woots. He's from Hawaii, and he's super chill. He's a variety streamer. He streams a lot of Apex, Sea of Thieves, a bit of COD. He's tried League of Legends. Woot is he's amazing. He's like a dad to me. I don't know. I feel like those three have been like the most supportive at the moment.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you only had to name one, but I'll take all those answers.
The more the better.
Awesome, man. Well, that was it for me. Do you feel like you've let everything out, or do you feel like there's more that you want to tell about your life?
I feel like I've let everything out now.
Mhm.
If there is more, I don't think there is. I feel like my life is sort of straightforward. There's not much to it anymore.
Got it.
Until the future, yeah.
Yeah, of course,
But
of course.
yeah. But at the
Much.
moment, I feel like there's not much, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel? You are nervous. I feel like you were fine. Yo, yesterday you were like anxious or something.
I was nervous because everyone's watching.
All right. Well, I'll close out the YouTube segment at least. But that's a wrap for this podcast, guys. This is the Chang Gang Podcast, episode 16, featuring Nathan, aka ItsNatfan. Nathan, thank you so much for being a part of this. I appreciate your time and for you to be completely open with us. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, guys, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I welcome everyone to the Chang Gang with open arms. Nathan, close it out. Any last words?
I'll just like to say thank you, Wilson, again for having me on here. Thank you everyone for tuning in as well. Thank you for the community, everyone in it as well. Yeah. See you guys.
All right. There you go.